You've been feeling it, haven't you? The subtle shift in the air, the pulse of something invisible yet deeply familiar. It's not just your imagination. It's presence. The angels have been whispering softly, not to your ears, but to your soul. They say, "She carries the light that awakens what was once dormant in him." You didn't choose this connection. It chose you. It carved a path through time and soul memory until you finally met in this life, where everything feels both familiar and impossible. And now, you're being asked not to question the enormity of what you feel, but to listen. Really listen. Because this person, this man whose silence you've mistaken for indifference, has been shouting on the inside. His spirit recognized yours before his mind ever could. He was not ready, but you were. And that is why you were sent first, as the spark, the mirror, the divine key. You are not in his life to chase, to prove, to plead. You are there as a message. And it's being received, even if he hasn't spoken a word. You see, heaven doesn't operate on calendars. It works through alignment. And something inside him has started to move, not because you asked, but because your presence is enough. More than enough. The angels show me that his heart, once protected by years of logic, survival, and quiet disappointment, is now trembling open. Not completely. Not without fear. But the process has begun. And so I ask you now, are you truly ready to know what has been revealed to him about you? Are you willing to accept that you are not just a memory he can suppress, but the prophecy his soul keeps replaying? This is not the kind of love that can be explained. It's the kind that disrupts everything, breaks the old patterns, resets the soul. And you were chosen, not to fix him, not to wait, but to remind him of who he is beyond the pain. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. He doesn't mean to disappear. He doesn't know how to stay. The angels say, he built walls not to keep you out, but because no one ever stayed long enough to notice how fragile they really are. You felt the sudden cold, the retreat, the silence that echoed louder than words. And maybe you wondered, was it something I did? But love, this was never about your worth. It was about his wound. There are stories inside him that have never been told. Stories that whisper of abandonment, of promises broken before they could blossom. And every time you get close, every time your eyes say, "I see you," a voice in him shouts, "Don't believe it. Not again." He has loved before, or at least, tried to. But this is different. You are different. And that's what terrifies him. Because what if it's real? What if, this time, the heart doesn't survive? He is not rejecting you. He is retreating from a feeling that demands he undress his soul. And that is terrifying for someone who learned early that vulnerability means pain. So instead, he hesitates. He hides in the comfort of logic. He busies himself with reasons. He says it's complicated, because saying, "I'm scared," feels too raw, too honest, too much. But the angels show me something else. That when he closes his eyes, he still sees you. That even in his silence, you echo. That no matter how far he runs, you are already there, tucked into the place his mind avoids but his soul remembers. You are not being ignored. You are being felt, so deeply that it overwhelms his capacity to act. There is healing happening, even if you cannot yet see it. And if you've asked, why me? The answer is simple, because you have the softness to meet his armor with grace. The angels whisper now, not about him, but about you. They say, she forgot her own light while holding a lantern for someone still lost in the woods. You've been waiting, maybe not in time, but in energy. Holding space, hoping for signs, giving more than you had. You've been praying for his healing while your heart quietly bled. But love is not a wound to be earned. It is a home to return to, and yours must start within. Have you been setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm? Skipping your joy, your rituals, your breath, all in the name of devotion? There is no divinity in depletion. The angels want you to rest now, to return to yourself, to remember that the woman he's drawn to is not the one who waits, but the one who shines, the one who walks her own path even if no one follows. Because your energy is not just a gift, it's a mirror. And until you treat it like something sacred, others won't know how to. He will come closer when your light becomes less about needing him to see it, and more about letting it illuminate your own life. Yes, he's drawn to you. Yes, he feels something no one else has ever ignited. But the truth is, that flame cannot survive if your soul is burning out. So today, let this be your turning point. Water your roots. Reclaim your rituals. Remember the music that used to move you. Speak to your body as if it's the altar of your becoming. You are not here to wait for love. You are love. Let that be enough today. The angels are watching, and they smile every time you choose yourself. He sees himself in your eyes, not the version he shows the world, but the one he hides, even from himself. The angels whisper, she didn't come to admire his mask. She came to reflect his truth. When you walked into his life, you brought more than affection. You brought illumination. And with it came a quiet unraveling of everything he had tried so hard to keep in place. It was never just about love. It was about recognition. And that terrifies him more than rejection. Because when you look at him, you don't just see the smile, the charm, the carefully constructed facade, you see the pain. The child. The question he never dared to ask, am I still worthy, even if I'm broken? And that is why he runs. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your gaze holds a truth that doesn't allow for pretense. It's the kind of gaze that says, I know what's beneath the silence. He's not used to being seen this way, loved this way, met this way. And so your presence becomes both a balm and a storm, soothing the pain while stirring the shadows. You make him feel safe, and yet vulnerable, home, and yet unmade. This is the sacred paradox of soul connections. They don't come to keep us comfortable. They come to crack us open. You didn't arrive in his life to rescue him. You arrived to reveal. So if he's distant, cold, or uncertain, know this, your light is working. Not as a spotlight, but as a mirror. And what he sees might hurt, but it also heals. The angels say, your love isn't asking him to change. It's simply reminding him of who he truly is. Let that be enough for now. There's a shift happening, subtle, but unmistakable. The angels lean close and whisper, he woke up, in the middle of a thought about you. It wasn't a grand realization. It was a whisper at 2:17 a.m. A memory that came out of nowhere. A feeling that something or someone was missing from his day, even if everything else seemed fine. This is how awakening begins. Not with fireworks, but with a pull. A sacred dissonance between who he has been and who he feels he's becoming. And you are the catalyst. He doesn't yet have words for it. But his soul is stirring. And you're the echo he hears in his quietest moments, when he's walking alone, staring at nothing, or holding his breath without realizing why. This is the unraveling of numbness. He used to be so sure of what he wanted, how love should look, and what felt safe. But now, there's a shake in that certainty. Because what he feels when he thinks of you doesn't follow the script. And that's a good thing. You are not the kind of woman he envisioned. You are the kind of woman who came into his life when his soul was finally ready to remember what it truly craved. The angels show me the moment he began to see you differently. Not with his eyes, but with his spirit. It was subtle. Maybe he brushed it off. Perhaps he told himself it would fade away. But it hasn't. In fact, it's becoming more profound. Because some people don't just touch your life, they rewire your heart. And now, something within him is awakening. Slowly, surely, in your direction. He comes close, then pulls away. Again. And again. The angels say, this isn't rejection. It's recognition, and the fear that comes with it. You've been caught in this rhythm. The warm texts, the soft glances, the moments that feel like new beginnings, followed by silence, coldness, distance, as if every step forward sends him retreating. But this pattern isn't confusion. It's protection. It's his way of saying, I feel something too strong, and I don't know if I'm ready to handle it. You make him feel not just affection, but memory, longing, possibility. And those are dangerous feelings for someone who has trained himself to feel safe by feeling nothing. So he tries to pause it, delay it, reset the rhythm. But the angels reveal, every time he walks away, it haunts him. You don't fade. You resonate. He talks himself out of it, then dreams of you. He convinces himself you're better off without him, then checks to see if you've moved on. This isn't clarity, it's coping. And it's not working anymore. You represent a future his heart desires, and his fear resists. And so the cycle continues, not because he's careless, but because he's scared of what this might cost him. Control, solitude, the walls he's built around himself. But love, real love, was never meant to be safe. It was meant to be sacred. And that's what he's beginning to learn. So if you find yourself spinning in this dance, remember this, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of how deeply you're felt. The angels are clearing the path. Every return is not a loop, it's a step. Even if it doesn't look that way yet. Be still. He's learning. You didn't try to heal him. But love did. The angels say, she didn't fix him. She reminded him what it feels like to be seen and not flinch. There's something about the way you love, quiet, steady, without needing to be loud. It's a presence more than a promise. And he has felt that, even when he didn't know how to receive it. You didn't force him to open. You didn't ask him to change. You simply existed, and that was enough. Because your love didn't come with demands. It came with permission. Permission to feel again. To question the numbness. To soften without shame. And now, even when he's away, even when he's silent, there's a softness blooming in him. Not because he planned it, but because you left pieces of peace in the places he thought were broken beyond repair. This is what healing looks like. Not sudden. Not dramatic. But slow. Like breath returning to lungs that forgot how to inhale fully. You gave him a glimpse of what love could be, not transactional, not conditional, but sacred. Spacious. Safe. And now, without knowing why, he craves that safety again. Craves you again. He may not say it. He may not know how to. But your love became his anchor when the tides of old pain tried to pull him under. And the angels show me this truth, that even in your absence, your energy lingers. Like light in a room long after the lamp has been switched off. You were never here to heal him. But somehow, your heart remembered the medicine his soul forgot it needed. There's a thread running through all of this, invisible but unbreakable. The angels speak now, it was written. Not in ink. In soul light. You've questioned the timing. Wondered about the delays. The pauses. The strange synchronicities that feel too precise to be random, and yet too quiet to be called certainty. But love, nothing about this journey is accidental. Before you met, there were signs. A dream you couldn't explain. A name that kept echoing. A feeling you belonged to something you hadn't found yet. And then there he was. Not perfect. Not polished. But familiar. That's how the divine works. Not through logic, but through resonance. The knowing before the knowing. He didn't come into your life to make it easy. He came as a teacher. A mirror. A soul you agreed to meet long before either of you remembered what love would require. And now, though it may feel like wandering, you are not lost. You are walking a sacred spiral. Every loop, every delay, every detour is part of a divine choreography too beautiful to rush. The angels show me how they have been rearranging time for you, creating space, creating softness, creating surrender. Because love isn't about arrival. It's about recognition. And he is starting to recognize what this is, even if he can't name it yet. You don't need to know the next step. Just trust the one you're on. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7. He doesn't know how to be fully seen, not without trembling. The angels say, she touched a place in him that even he was afraid to enter. When you love someone who has built their safety through silence, through distance, through doing, your presence becomes a disruption. Not because it hurts, but because it feels. And feeling for him is the most dangerous territory of all. He has worn armor for so long it feels like skin. But you speak to the place underneath it. The soft, unarmored child still waiting for someone to stay. So he flinches. He pushes. He questions why you're still here. Because a part of him believes he's too much. Or not enough. Or both. And love, real love, has always been something that slips away, not something that stays and says, I see you. Still. That's what you've done. You've stayed. Not out of obligation, not out of pleading, but simply by being. And in your presence, he has seen himself reflected in a way he cannot unsee. But with that clarity comes fear. Because if he lets you in, and loses you, the cost feels unbearable. The angels show me the moment he nearly said something real. The way his voice caught in his throat. The way he looked away too quickly. The weight of what he felt but couldn't express. You are not imagining it. His silence speaks volumes. This is where the sacred tension exists, between wanting to open up and fearing what might spill out. But he's learning. And your gentleness is the safest ground he's ever stood on. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. You can't make him choose the light. But you can embody it. The angels exhale now, not in warning, but in reverence. They say, she loved without needing to be chosen. That's why she is unforgettable. You've held the weight of his silence like a sacred stone. You've danced with uncertainty, kissed it on the forehead, and have still found a way to shine. This was never about changing him. It was about remembering you. The version of you that didn't wait for validation. The one who didn't shrink to be kept. The one who knew love, real love, doesn't beg, it breathes. And now, as this chapter transitions into something new, you are being called to the deepest act of all, surrender. Not the passive kind, but the holy kind. The kind where you stop chasing answers and start trusting your essence. The kind where you know, if it's yours, it will recognize you. You are not the echo of someone else's indecision. You are the original voice of your own becoming. He may come back. He may not. But either way, your journey is not dependent on his clarity to be sacred. The angels show me a light forming around you. It's not him. It's not a promise. It's you, returning to your wholeness. There's peace in letting go without shutting down. There's power in saying, I release what is not mine to hold. You have loved well. You have seen deeply. You have honored what many would have walked away from. That is sacred. And now? Now let the love that chose you first, the divine one, carry you home to yourself. Because even if he never says it, his soul already has. You were the turning point. You still are.